Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to give you a tour of our fall garden and show the diversity of plants we have. In this small patch over here, actually you will see quite different plants. We have plants that survived the summer and are still producing food for us during this time. We have plants that survived the summer and start producing fruit that will give us food for the next 2 months. We have plants that just sprouted that will provide food in later fall and the early spring as well. The first thing to prepare for the fall garden is to do some chop and drop to prepare the soil. And here we have a lot of sunflower growing during the summer. And now is a time to harvest the seeds for the chicken for winter, and also drop of these branches on the soil so that add organic compost into the soil as they decompose, provide the nutrition for the fall crop. So the first thing is I need to take the head off. I will drop some seeds over here, and that will be the seed bank for next spring. Usually sunflowers sprout earlier, and when we see sunflower sprouting, we can know that that's time to put down the spring crops. For the branches, I just use scissors. A pair of scissors to cut them into shorter, and this is what we got. Very strong sunflowers here, and these will go into the shredder and they make mulch out of it. Another thing I needed to do, of course, is pull some of the weeds. I left the weeds here because I don't want to have a bare soil. So they do provide shade for the soil during summer. And also, these are native weeds. They have very deep roots. Look at that. They're good to loosen the soil, and now I can drop them to provide some green manure for the soil as well. The only thing I need to worry about is seeds. So if I see seeds in the weeds, I put in a bucket so that they don't drop it to produce more weeds. Now I cleaned this area reasonably well and see what I got. I have a cantaloupe growing here, and I have actually quite a few tomato plants that I need to pop them up. So now they start to have flowers, so we're going to get a fall harvest. And also I have a soybean growing over here. They all grow through the summer or survive the summer because the weed was providing shade, and they seem doing well. So now is the time for them to take over. Around this time, there's not a whole lot of things to harvest because a lot of plants are still trying to recover from the heat of the summer, but the sweet potatoes are the ones that keep us alive. You can see that in this patch, we have very dense layer of sweet potatoes. And of course, that is our way of suppress weed, but also is provide food for us during these summer hunger months. You can eat the leaves and also the petal. It's a nice summer vegetable to have when other vegetable, green vegetable that are not growing. Another plant that we eat a lot is Purslane. They have beautiful flowers and they are kind of like a succulent, but the leaves and the young stems are very tasty, and we cook them like greens. Another plant, native plant that's growing in the garden that we didn't plant is this Texas Groundcherry. One plant that survived the summer and started producing okras. In front of me, there are quite a few okra plants. Some just sprouted because of the rain, but this one sprouted earlier and it's much bigger than the rest of it. And I can see that there are quite a few pods on top. So I will expect to be able to harvest some nice okra next week. Another plant that grew during the summer and it's ready to produce is this black eye peas. They crawl up all the way up to the top of the sunflowers, and I can see it has white flower already, quite a lot of them. Pretty soon we will be able to harvest some black pea pods. I use them kind of like a green beans because green bean is much harder to grow over here than black eyed peas, so they are our substitute for green beans. This patch over here actually is mostly for fall growth, and I can see you have green onions, which is perennial. You can see there were lots of sun damage, but now when the weather is cool, the green onions are come up and it's a very nice green. We're going to be able to harvest green onion from now on. And I also see a tiny garlic sprout come out. So that gave me indication that I need to start to put the garlic in the ground, even though it's still almost 100 degrees. The plants know that the cooler weather is coming and they start to come out of the ground. I have some brassicas growing, sprouting over here, and also some soybean that sprout over here. In 2 weeks, this probably will be covered with plants, and that's what we want, to have successions of different plants that grow at a different season to give us continuous supply of food. This pepper has been growing through the summer and it had blooms, and now we can start to harvest peppers. We have quite a few plants that pepper plants that survived the summer. Now we will start to be able to harvest the fruit of our hard work during summer that keep them alive. The chive over here, of course, recovered nicely from summer. We actually have quite a lot of chive growing everywhere, and this is one of the plants that vegetable that we can eat during the summer hunger months as well. You can see this lush green of peanuts, and the leaves start to shoot young leaves, and we could harvest the young leaves for cooking as well. They are actually taste pretty good. I have a long string bean here, kind of bush style Chinese long string bean. They didn't like the summer much, but they survived. So what I hope is that they will recover and start to produce lots of long string beans for us. In this small patch here, I will say that we have the Texas Three Sisters. This plant is the Chiltepin peppers that have been coming back very reliably for 2 or 3 years now. And you can see that there are lots of flowers, and it's going to produce these small pepper berries. that are very tasty for cooking. Here I have the Porcelain. Usually is kind of a ground cover plant that you can harvest as green during this time of the year. And over here is the Texas Groundcherry. So I usually harvest the Groundcherry and the Texas pepper and make sauce to cook with meat. Squash is another good choice for providing ground cover during summer to protect the soil from the bleaching sun. And the benefit of that is that when you, in the fall, you will get lots of squashes. This is a butternut squash that is almost ready for harvest. We have cantaloupe and watermelon and winter gourd. They all survive very well during the summer and then produce well in the fall. Especially for winter gourd and butternut squash, they can store in room temperature for a long time. We still have butternut squash that from last year that is just stay in the room temperature and they are still good. So what we want is have a huge harvest of butternut squash and the winter gourd and the cantaloupe in the fall and store them through winter, so we will have a continuous supply of homegrown food for us all year round. I collect the seeds from spring and then wait until the forecast to have the first rain of the fall, and then I will spread the seeds in the ground and wait for the rain, and then when the rain comes, the seeds will sprout. And here's what happened. There are lots of small seedlings that sprouted because we just got our first rain in the fall. Once they get a little bit bigger, I come here to thin them, or they thin them by themselves, and then we have a nice fall garden going on probably in 1 month. Our Single Seed Challenge 2023, the Snakeir is probably the champion of surviving the Texas summer heat. It was struggling during the summer, but as soon as the temperature dropped, it bloomed like crazy. Now we got quite a few of Snakeirs that are growing. And if we are lucky that we don't get early frost, I would expect we will have quite a feast on the Snakeir. In this video, I give you a tour of our fall garden and give an update on the Single Seed Challenge 2023. Fall growth season is better than the spring growth season in Texas. And if you have not planted anything in your fall garden, now it's time to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.